Have you ever felt like you're on the brink of a major breakthrough, but you're not quite sure what's happening? Maybe you've sensed a shift in your perspective, as if something profound is stirring within you, yet you're unsure of what it means or where it's leading. This feeling isn't just a random coincidence. It's the beginning of a powerful journey known as spiritual awakening. It's like you're starting to peel back the layers of a long-hidden truth, and it's both exciting and a little intimidating. So, where exactly are you on this journey? Are you just starting to glimpse this new reality, or have you already begun to unravel deeper truths about yourself? Today, we're diving into the 6 stages of spiritual awakening to help you identify where you are and what comes next. Stick with me, and you'll uncover not only your current stage, but also gain insights that could transform your understanding of yourself and the universe. Plus, I have something exciting to share with you that could make a big difference on your path. Ready to explore? Let's get started. Stage 1. The unconscious state. Living through the ego. The first stage of spiritual awakening is like navigating through life in a dense fog. It's as if you're walking through a world where everything is blurred, and your actions are dictated by patterns you don't even realize you're following. I remember a time in my life when this fog was all-consuming. Every day felt like a repetition of the last, with work stress, relationship challenges, and even minor inconveniences triggering emotional responses that I couldn't control. It was as if I was on autopilot, reacting to everything around me without truly understanding why. In this stage, you are deeply entrenched in the ego, which is that part of you that identifies with your thoughts, emotions, and external achievements. The ego tells you that these things define who you are. It's the voice that says, "I am my job," "I am my relationship," or "I am my success." But this identification is a trap because it confines you to a narrow view of yourself. You start to believe that life is something that happens to you rather than something you can shape. I was stuck in this mindset, and it led to a lot of defensiveness. Any criticism felt like a personal attack because my identity was so tied up in these external things. This stage is marked by a sense of disconnection from others, from your true self, and from the deeper meaning of life. Your interactions with people are filtered through the lens of your own experiences, which makes it difficult to see them for who they really are. I often found myself projecting my insecurities onto others, assuming that they saw me the same way I saw myself. This made relationships challenging and often left me feeling misunderstood and isolated. But as suffocating as this stage can be, it's also where the seeds of awakening are planted. There's a subtle, almost imperceptible sense that something isn't quite right, that the way you've been living doesn't capture the full picture of who you are. It's like an itch that you can't quite scratch, a feeling that there's a deeper truth just beyond your reach. This discomfort, though unsettling, is crucial. It's the first sign that you're ready to start peeling back the layers of the ego and exploring what lies beneath. This is where your spiritual journey truly begins. Stage 2, the realization. Cracks in the ego's facade. The second stage is when you start to notice the cracks in the ego's facade. After years of living through the lens of the ego, something shifts. You begin to sense that there's more to you than your thoughts, emotions, and the roles you've been playing. This realization can come gradually or hit you all at once, but either way, it's a pivotal moment in your spiritual awakening. For me, it was a series of small realizations that began to accumulate, each one chipping away at the rigid identity I had constructed for myself. This stage often brings with it a sense of discomfort. The life you've been living starts to feel out of alignment with your true self. You might begin to question everything, your beliefs, your relationships, even the very identity you've clung to for so long. I remember feeling like the ground beneath my feet was shifting, and it was both exhilarating and terrifying. There was a part of me that was excited by the possibility of discovering a deeper truth, but another part that was scared of what I might find. As you start to question the stories you've been telling yourself, the ego begins to lose its grip. You realize that these stories, while familiar, are not the whole truth. There's a yearning to break free from the old patterns and explore the deeper layers of your existence. This stage is like the moment when a veil is lifted, if only just a bit, allowing you to glimpse a reality beyond what you've known. It's a time of curiosity and exploration, where you start to seek answers to questions you didn't even know you had. For me, this stage was marked by a deep inner conflict. I wanted to hold on to the familiar, even though I knew it was limiting me. But I also felt drawn to explore this new awareness that was emerging. It was like standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing that you need to jump to discover what lies below, but terrified of what that leap might entail. This stage sets the foundation for the next, more intense phase of your journey. Before we dive into the next stage, let me share something that might resonate with where you are right now. If you're feeling that push to make a significant change and want to attract huge amounts of money effortlessly starting today, there's something incredible that you might want to check out. I've come across some shocking wealth secrets revealed by a rogue NASA scientist that could transform your financial journey. I've dropped a link in the comments below. Take a look and see how these insights could make a difference for you. But for now, let's continue our journey through the stages of spiritual awakening and explore what comes next. Stage 3. The ego death. Dissolving the illusions. The third stage is where the journey becomes truly intense. This is known as ego death, and it's exactly as dramatic as it sounds. But let's be clear, this isn't about physical death. It's about the dissolution of the ego, the part of you that you've always identified with. This stage can be incredibly challenging because it's like watching the identity you've built over your entire life start to crumble before your eyes. During ego death, the labels you've attached to yourself, your gender, age, race, beliefs, begin to feel less concrete. You start to realize that these things, while they have shaped your experiences, do not define the essence of who you are. This realization can be disorienting. I remember feeling as though the ground was being pulled out from under me. The constructs I had relied on for stability were no longer there, leaving me feeling exposed and vulnerable. This process is often accompanied by a sense of loss. It's like mourning the death of a part of yourself, even though deep down you know that this part was never truly you. But it's also a time of liberation. As the old identity falls away, it creates space within you for something much more profound. You begin to understand that you are not your thoughts, emotions, or even your physical body. You are the awareness behind them. This shift in perspective can bring a sense of peace, but it can also be overwhelming as you navigate through the remnants of your old identity. At this stage, the observer self, the part of you that quietly watches your thoughts and experiences, starts to become more apparent. You begin to detach from the ego's narratives, recognizing them as stories rather than truths. This detachment doesn't mean that you stop caring about life. Rather, it allows you to engage with life more fully, without being entangled in the dramas of the ego. This stage is one of profound inner transformation. You might feel empty or detached, but this emptiness is not a void. It's a clearing, making room for a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. It's a time of stripping away the illusions that have kept you bound and stepping into a new way of being. The journey through ego death is challenging, but it's also a necessary part of your spiritual evolution. It's the gateway to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Stage 4. The search, seeking deeper truths. After experiencing the profound shift of ego death, you enter a stage where your soul begins to search for deeper truths. This phase is marked by an intense curiosity, almost like a hunger, to understand the mysteries of existence. It's as if the veil that once clouded your perception has lifted just enough to reveal the vast unknown beyond, and now you are driven to explore it. This stage is both exhilarating and challenging. You might find yourself devouring books on spirituality, philosophy, or self-help, each offering glimpses into the truths you seek. For me, this was a period of voracious learning. I remember spending hours reading everything I could get my hands on: ancient scriptures, modern spiritual teachings, and anything in between. Each new piece of knowledge felt like a breadcrumb leading me closer to a deeper understanding of who I truly was. But this search isn't just about intellectual knowledge. It's about experience. You may begin to engage in practices like meditation, yoga, or mindfulness, not just as routines, but as pathways to connect with something greater. I vividly recall the first time I tried meditation with real intention, not just as a means to relax, but as a tool to explore my inner world. That experience was transformative. Suddenly, I wasn't just reading about spirituality, I was living it. In this stage, there's also a deepening of your inner life. You start to question long-held beliefs and assumptions about the world and your place in it. This can be disorienting, as the familiar foundations of your reality begin to feel shaky. But it's also liberating. Each question you ask peels away another layer of illusion, bringing you closer to the essence of your being. What makes this stage so powerful is the realization that truth is not something that can be fully captured in words or concepts. It's something to be experienced. I remember moments of clarity where, in the stillness of meditation, I would feel a profound sense of connection to everything around me. It was as if the boundaries between myself and the world dissolved, leaving only a pure sense of being. These moments were fleeting but powerful, giving me glimpses of the deeper reality I was seeking. However, this stage isn't without its challenges. The more you seek, the more you may realize how much you don't know. This can lead to feelings of frustration or even despair as you grapple with the enormity of the questions you're asking. But this is a necessary part of the journey. It's through this discomfort that true growth happens. You may also find that your relationships change during this phase. As you delve deeper into your search, you might feel a disconnect with those who are not on the same path. Conversations that once seemed important now feel trivial, and you may find yourself seeking out like-minded individuals who share your thirst for knowledge and understanding. This can be both isolating and empowering, as you begin to forge connections based on a deeper level of mutual understanding. The search is not a stage that has a clear endpoint. It's an ongoing process, a continuous unfolding of deeper truths and understandings. But there comes a point where the intensity of the search begins to soften. You start to realize that the answers you're looking for are not out there somewhere. They are within you. This marks the transition into the next stage, where you begin to embody the truths you've discovered and emerge as your authentic self. Stage 5. The emergence of the authentic self. Embracing your true nature. The fifth stage of spiritual awakening is where all the searching begins to bear fruit. This is the stage where you start to emerge as your authentic self, shedding the layers of conditioning and pretense that have shaped your life up until now. It's a stage of profound self-discovery and self-acceptance, where you begin to live in alignment with who you truly are. This phase is characterized by a deep inner shift. You may find that you can no longer tolerate situations, relationships, or roles that don't resonate with your true self. For me, this was a time of significant change. I found myself re-evaluating my career, my friendships, and even my daily habits. Things that once felt essential now seemed trivial, and I felt a strong urge to align my outer life with my inner truths. But this stage isn't just about making external changes. It's about embracing your true nature on a deep internal level. You begin to let go of the need to please others or to conform to societal expectations. Instead, you start to honor your own needs, desires, and values. This can be a challenging process, especially if you've spent much of your life trying to fit in or seeking approval from others. But it's also incredibly liberating. One of the most profound aspects of this stage is the healing that occurs. As you embrace your authentic self, old wounds and traumas may resurface, not to torment you, but to be healed. You begin to understand that these past experiences, while painful, have shaped you into who you are today. With this understanding comes compassion, both for yourself and for others. Physically, you might notice changes as well. Some people experience what's known as ascension symptoms, which can include heightened intuition, vivid dreams, or even physical sensations like tingling or warmth in certain parts of the body. These are signs that your body is adjusting to the higher frequencies of your emerging self. I remember a period where I felt unusually sensitive to energy, almost as if I could feel the vibrations of everything around me. It was both overwhelming and awe-inspiring, a reminder that this journey is as much about the body as it is about the mind and spirit. This stage also brings a deep sense of peace. As you shed the layers of falsehood and step into your true self, you begin to feel more at home in your own skin. There's a sense of coming home, of returning to the purity and authenticity that were always within you, just buried under layers of conditioning. Living as your authentic self doesn't mean that life becomes easy or free from challenges, but it does mean that you approach these challenges from a place of truth and inner strength. You no longer feel the need to hide or to pretend. Instead, you face life with courage, knowing that you are living in alignment with your highest self. Stage 6. Living in alignment, harmonizing with the universe. After the intense inner work and transformations of the previous stages, you enter the final stage of spiritual awakening, living in alignment. This stage is where all the pieces come together, and you begin to experience a profound sense of harmony with yourself and the world around you. In this stage, you start to fully embrace who you are at your core. You've navigated the challenges of ego death and explored the deeper truths of your existence. Now, you find yourself living in a way that feels natural and effortless. It's like the final puzzle piece has clicked into place, and everything feels right. Living in alignment means you are at peace with yourself. You've accepted your imperfections and learned to love yourself just as you are. This self-acceptance isn't just a mental concept. It's a deep, heartfelt experience. You recognize that your flaws are part of what makes you uniquely human, and you approach yourself and others with a gentle, compassionate attitude. As you harmonize with your true self, you also start to connect more deeply with the world around you. You feel a sense of unity with everything and everyone, from the people you interact with to the natural world. This connection goes beyond mere understanding. It's a lived experience of oneness with the universe. You see the interconnectedness of all things and feel a profound sense of belonging. Living in alignment also means embracing life's dualities. You understand that both light and dark aspects are essential to the richness of your journey. Challenges and difficulties are no longer seen as obstacles, but as integral parts of your growth. You learn to navigate these challenges with grace, knowing that they too have their place in your story. This stage brings a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. You're no longer striving or searching. Instead, you're living in the truth of who you are. You've reached a state where your mind, body, and soul are harmoniously integrated, allowing you to thrive in a way that feels authentic and true to your essence. In this final stage of awakening, you've come home to yourself. You've found your place in the universe, and you're living in a way that reflects your deepest truths. It's a beautiful and empowering stage, one that allows you to fully embrace and enjoy the life you've created through your journey. As we come to the end of our journey through the 6 stages of spiritual awakening, it's clear that each phase offers its own unique challenges and profound insights. From navigating the fog of the ego in stage 1 to finally living in harmonious alignment in stage 6, each step is a crucial part of your spiritual evolution. Remember, the path of awakening is deeply personal and unfolds differently for everyone. Embrace each stage with patience and compassion, knowing that every experience, whether joyous or difficult, contributes to your growth. The seeds of awakening planted in stage 1 will bloom into the full understanding and alignment of stage 6, bringing you closer to your true self and the universe around you. As you reflect on these stages, consider where you are on your own journey. Are you feeling the stirrings of change, or have you already embraced your authentic self? Wherever you find yourself, know that you are not alone in this journey. Your path is uniquely yours, and every step forward is a victory. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of spiritual awakening. If this video resonated with you, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with anyone who might benefit from it. I'd love to hear about your own experiences and insights in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation together. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Also, check out the links in the description for additional resources and related videos that can further support your spiritual journey. Until next time, may your path be filled with clarity, compassion, and the deep joy of living in alignment with your true self. Stay connected, stay curious, and keep exploring.